St. Thomas University Digital Journalism and New Media present.
Hi, I'm Troy Glover and welcome to this week's Basement Files. Our top stories for this week are: we take a look at one student's experience with catcalling and her fears of walking to campus. A criminology class tries to get kids to travel the trails instead of the streets. And people come to show off their pets at the 8th annual Fredericton Pet Expo. We hear the story of a local student who no longer feels safe on her daily walks to campus, thanks to the harassment she suffered at the hands of her fellow Frederictonians. William Cummings sits down with her to understand the effects of catcalling towards women that are targeted.
From Des Roches, it's a quick walk from her house to school, but it's not without danger. Emily, like many women, is a victim of catcalling. The honks and hollers of passing drivers are seen by some as good fun, or even a compliment. But for her, it leaves a different feeling.
It makes me feel really unsafe and super uncomfortable, especially since, this is the place where I live and I should feel safe. My apartment is about a 5-minute walk from campus, so it's really not that long, but it definitely makes me feel really vulnerable and kind of like targeted almost. And I don't know, it's just a really uncomfortable, just unsettling feeling if you're just minding your own business walking and someone just yells at you for no reason.
With a population of just under 60,000, Fredericton's far from being considered a big city, which makes many people feel safe here. But according to Plains magazine, that might not be the case. In 2016, the magazine listed Fredericton as Canada's 3rd most dangerous city in terms of sexual assault. The magazine also noted that none of the most dangerous cities have a population of more than 1 million. DeRoche says she doesn't understand what catcalling accomplishes other than to make someone feel unsafe.
I don't know, if you were at like a bar or a club and you're saying like something derogatory and disgusting to someone else, I mean, you're trying to get something out of it. And if you said that to me, I'd probably throw my drink in your face. But if you're saying that to someone as they're walking down the street, like what are you even gonna gain from that other than making someone uncomfortable? So like, I know I'm not the only one that this happens to. I've heard many other stories. And I'm not an object, I'm a person and I'm just trying to walk home. So let me do it.
A criminology class at St. Thomas University is taking its new perspectives on crime prevention and using it to make a difference in the city. It's one to try to get kids off the streets and onto the trails. Sarah Betts has the story.
When it comes to raising money for a good cause, students at St. Thomas University know just how to do it, with cookies and competition. A criminology class held a bake sale and silent auction over 2 days last week. Their goal was to raise money for the Will Do Community Bike Club, a local initiative that aims to get kids off the streets and take them all over the city on bicycles. Emma McCorkle, a student who organized the fundraiser, said they wanted to help the program after meeting the organizers and seeing how much help they needed.
And really we just wanted to do it because the bike club, it provides great programming for kids on the north side. And it's really great because if they don't have a bike already, then they're provided with a bike free of charge. And Jen fixes the bikes for them free of charge and everything. And she really wants to get some of the older kids into mountain biking. But mountain bikes kind of cost more money and they have to be fixed a lot more often. So they could really use the donations.
Will Do started in 2014 by co-creator Jen Wambolt and her husband after their community center on the north side of the city failed to get enough funding for the year.
When we did have the summer program, I volunteered with it, so I knew the kids and had an idea how the program was run. And one of the things they did with them is walk them to Henry Park, which is just a couple blocks away. And that kind of gave me the idea. It's like, I can bike them to all the pools.
Now, the club caters to about 66 families. It provides kids of all ages with mountain bikes and bike repairs and takes them across the city to pools, movie nights, and other events. McCorkle said Will Do is playing a role in crime prevention by getting kids working together from a young age.
So it's related to crime prevention in that it's kind of been proven that creating good social bonds and community programming, especially at a younger age, is shown to prevent crime, because if children are invested in their community and they have great social bonds and they have friends and stuff, they're much less likely to commit crime.
Wambolt said the group keeps kids from getting bored and getting into trouble, and it gives the community a sense of safety as well.
It gets the kids out. It's very common nowadays that most of our children are inside, sitting in front of screens. Parents don't encourage kids to go outside anymore. And when you have a well-working bike, you want to ride it. I mean, you're dreaming at night about getting up in the morning and getting on your bike. And the visibility of having kids riding around and playing together cooperatively, now they know each other, it works.
And even more than that, Troy Wambolt said the group went on more than 35 rides this year and brought 40 kids with them. They even gave 36 bikes to those in need. And even though we haven't heard back from the class on how much money they raised for the group, Wambolt said any and all help from the community is appreciated, and she's hoping for a bigger and better year to come. Back to you.
For local animal lovers, the Fredericton Pet Expo is a great place for people to get social and see the latest innovations in animal products and services for the Maritimes. Vincent Zhang has a story.
On November 5th, hundreds of people showed up in the Capital Exhibit Center for the 8th Annual Pet Expo. The Pet Expo has huge support from local pet lovers, and it became assembly to hang out with the precious one. Or maybe two. A real estate agent, Rebecca Steves, was taking a stroll around the expo with a couple standard poodles. They have well-trimmed hair and a man bun.
This is Fifi and this is Molly. It's mother and daughter. They're 13 and 6 years old. I actually came to lend my dog for a photo shoot demonstration here today to a friend because they're fairly trained and behaved, so they are easy to, work with for people when they want to do a demo.
More than 35 companies from Maritimes came here with innovative service and product. Among the showcase booth, a golden poodle carries a toy in his mouth and stands in front of the river valley. He is one exemplary obedient dog.
We are basically an obedience training club now. We help people to train their dogs mostly through the basics of obedience and things. We do 3 different levels of obedience classes, basic, intermediate, and more advanced, that build on each other to help people to train their dogs to be really good canine citizens.
The Pet Expo is packed with animal lovers, and believe me, pet needs to make friends too. If you want to adopt a cat or dog, come to SPCA and show some love. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Vincent Jane.
Friday was Canada's Day of Remembrance to those that have served or are still serving in the armed forces. Armagto held their annual ceremony to pay respects to the fallen.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. That was one of the many poems that are spoken on Canada's Day of Remembrance to those who have paid the ultimate price. In Armagto, New Brunswick, large crowds flow out to watch the parade of soldiers march to the town's cenotaph. The military population of Armagto is large, creating close relations with civilian citizens. Many soldiers are in attendance to pay their respects to the fallen, both active duty and retired. Fallen soldiers from the town are spoken out so everyone can remember. The ceremony ends with soldiers lining up and placing their poppy on the many wreaths surrounding the cenotaph. They represent the responsibility to never forget.
There's no snow on the ground, but the frosty mornings and the Christmas decorations and storefront windows are a sure sign that the holiday season is soon upon us. One business in downtown Fredericton has taken upon itself to spread the holiday cheer. Everyone knows the Nutcracker, but artists have chosen to tell the story through paintings, drawings, and other works of art. Angela Bosse has the story.
Jack Frost is here, which means the holiday season is upon us. While many are just starting to think about their Christmas shopping, Gallery 78 is going full steam ahead with a Nutcracker-themed art exhibit. Let's have a look inside. All of the art at Gallery 78's Nutcracker celebration has been inspired by Tchaikovsky's famous ballet. The mediums range from oil and acrylic paintings, sculptures, jewelry, and porcelain pottery. An exhibit opening was held on November 4th, where guests could mingle with the artists who contributed to the gallery and get in the Christmas spirit. Germaine Patiki-Theriault has been the director of Gallery 78 for 12 years. She said they decided to do the exhibit as a celebration of Dance Fredericton's 10-year anniversary performing the Nutcracker ballet.
So we like to integrate the different aspects of art, whether it's literary, performing, or visual art.
Germaine's daughters both perform for Dance Fredericton and have also posed as models for some of the pieces in the exhibit, like this one. Roughly 20 artists from across Canada have contributed to the exhibition. Stephen May is one of them. His works have been displayed at the gallery for many years, and he said he is frequently asked to contribute to group shows and themed exhibits.
It's kind of fun to do a costume piece with the tulle and the colors and, you know, the non-sort of everyday clothes, which tends to be these days kind of drab. It's not like in the olden days, you sort of, you know, a painting of somebody in the fashion of that day, and there's sort of stuff to look at, painters' problems.
May says his style usually gravitates toward French Impressionist art. Artists like Degas, famous for his paintings of dancers, are an inspiration. This celebration not only opens the door to the holiday season, but it celebrates the hard work, commitment, and love of dancing of Dance Fredericton's amateur performers.
So we wanted to celebrate their achievements. So we asked some artists if they'd like to participate, and they really did.
The exhibit will be open until November 27th. Dance Fredericton will be performing the Nutcracker Ballet at the Fredericton Playhouse that same weekend. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Angela Basse.
Going on its fifth day Sunday, anti-Trump protesters across the U.S. continue to voice their outrage over Trump's victory last Tuesday. Many protesters believe that it is unfair that Clinton won the popular vote, yet Trump won the presidency due to electoral votes. The protests have been largely peaceful. Protesters chant "Not my president" and "Love Trump's hate" while marching in Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles. Since Trump's win, civil rights groups cited reports of attacks on Islamic women, racist graffiti, and bullying of people of color. The Uptown St. John Buckland Merrifield Gallery is celebrating its first birthday. Chris Robinson went to speak with the co-owner to understand how the gallery paints an image of St. John.
The city of St. John, New Brunswick is a work of art. In 1785, St. John became Canada's first incorporated city. In those days, Canada was called British North America. British influence can be seen all over the city. Crown moldings, bricks, and Gothic columns plaster the city with intricate, detailed work that is second to none. Unfortunately, the Great Fire in 1877 destroyed much of Uptown. The city decided to rebuild and is one of the most beautiful destinations in Atlantic Canada. One place in St. John paying homage to local beauty is Buckland Merrifield Gallery on Canterbury Street. Owner Peter Buckland balances art with business.
I guess we take our job very, very seriously. We likely take ourselves a little less seriously. But what we do in our artists is very important.
Buckland Merrifield works with local artists to help further their careers.
You know, there are a number of things that we do for our artists and we feel that's very important. So if you're going to truly represent artists the way they need to be represented, you can't let yourself get too thin. We see ourselves as quite a serious gallery. So it's not just about pretty pictures to match the drapes, although sometimes we have some absolutely beautiful pictures and they may just go very well in a room, and we're quite happy when that happens. But there's that other side, which is all about looking at artists who really have something serious to say with their work.
Uptown St. John continues to defy the odds. With the new additions of bistros, restaurants, bars, and art galleries, the Uptown area is sprawling with new business. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Chris Robinson.
Well, that wraps up this week's stories for the Basement Files. If you missed the newscast, you can always find it on our website. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Troy Glover. Thanks for watching.